Good evening, everyone, or morning, wherever you're at. I got a lot to discuss tonight, so this is going to be a very long stream. So grab some popcorn, grab some snacks. You're in for a treat. Let me just go to my notes. Okay. Hey, Jared. Nice to see you again. So, Impact Wrestling kicked off the night super strong. It was the first Impact of 2021, and they kicked it off with the four-way match with Ace Austin, Casey Navarro, Blake Christian, and Crazy Steve. And it did not disappoint. It was absolutely madness. There was a point in the match where, hey, Dark King, there was a point in the match where Casey Navarro was on top of the turnbuckle, and Blake just pushed Casey off, and he was gone. He just blinked out of existence. I thought he died. That match was crazy. I didn't see Crazy Steve as the winner. I didn't see him making it, but the way he won was great. The match was fantastic. If you have any opportunity, rewatch it again and again and again and again. It was just a fantastic match. Probably the match of the night, in my opinion. Should have been the main event. The Good Brothers and the Bus, along with Kenny Omega. They discuss. I don't remember what they discussed of importance. They pretty much said Don should have his own title because he's titleless in the Bus. Maybe I should make my own title, but let's not give Don more power. No. So yeah, so that went on, and then they were discussing plans for Hard to Kill and what they're gonna do and everything else. It was just a very small, low segment to put Kenny Omega in, I guess, in a way. Then we have Rhino and Cousin Jake versus Cody Deaner and Joe Doering. I could never pronounce his name. I could live to 80. Someone could tell it to me. I would never be able to pronounce his last name. So, anyways, but it was supposed to be Eric Young versus Joe Doering. We got Cody Deaner in a new changed metamorphosis way where he had his head shaved. He was wearing different clothes. He was acting more violent, more vicious. My thoughts on the whole thing, I love the new Cody Deaner, but he doesn't look intimidating enough with shirtless. He needs to put on a few pounds, in my opinion. But if I took off my shirt, I wouldn't be really athletic either, so I'm not one to talk. But I'm not doing that. And so, yeah, the match was incredible. For the most part, Cody Deaner was taking it to Cousin Jake. Like, Cousin Jake was being... do you remember the old rivalry with Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy in WWE? When Matt was beating Jeff Hardy senseless and Jeff Hardy was just taking it because he was the good brother of the two. He was just turning the other cheek, being the good brother. That's basically what this was. Cousin Jake was taking... Yes, he remembers. Cousin Jake was basically taking Cody Deaner's punches and onslaught because he's family. He's family, so he didn't really want to go all out and violent over him. So he was just taking all the punches, taking all the kicks. It was basically that, and it was really hard to see Cody overpower a guy like Cousin Jake. Cousin Jake is a mammoth. He's a big fucking dude. He's tall. He's large. He's girth. There is a very large mammoth of a man, and he was just lying down for Cody. It's weird saying my own name out loud. But then Rhino came in, and then Rhino was barely in this match. I don't remember much of him in the match. It was mostly Cody Deaner and Cousin Jake. which is basically why it should have been, because it's their story. I don't know Rhino's input in the story. I think he has issue with Joe. But yeah. But then the match concedes. I think it conceded in a no disqualification or when. I don't remember. But then weapons were introduced. Someone was swinging a single cane. I was writing these notes down when this match was happening, so there might have been a few clips of me missing things, but I grabbed down the points. But Tommy Dreamer comes out and he's like, "You three versus us three are hard to kill in old school rules match, which is a no DQ, anything goes, falls count anywhere." So it's going to be Tommy Dreamer, Cousin Jake, Rhino versus Eric Young, Cody Dean. Wait, did I say Cousin Jake or Cody Deaner? God damn it. Cody Deaner and Joe Doring. So that's going to be fun to look forward to. I love stipulation matches. Stipulation matches are very fun, and they can be very, very entertaining. Huh, that paid announcement. Again with this. Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Tony and Tony were again on paid advertisement where they discussed their New Year's Bash show, where Kenny Omega will face Phoenix. A few other dozen matches announced. But the takeaway from this is instead of aiming his target at Impact this time, he targeted Don Callis and said, "Don Callis did nothing for this business. I'm here revolutionizing. I'm a patron." And I was like, wait a minute. Don Callis made Kenny Omega versus Jericho happen. Don Callis made Impact Wrestling, this era, happen. He signed the papers to make this new era of Impact Wrestling. So he's done more for this business than Tony Khan has done in 2 years. I think he's getting a little high horse on this Mad for Power thing because Callis has done almost a lot to revolutionize, distribute in this wrestling business for almost 30 years. Tony Khan is just putting his foot in the water. You don't even have 2 years under your promotion done, and you're already talking like a god. That's just not happening. He's mad with power. That's what I call it, mad with power. He's tossing money around, buying theme songs. Hogan did that too. And we all know how that turned out. Johnny Swinger has the cash. We go into a segment where Johnny Swinger has his foot up on the desk and AC Romero's like, "You have your own office now?" He's like, "The swing man always got something." I can't really understand the language either. But the gist of the conversation was AC Romero was looking for evidence against him to see if he can free his brother Lawrence D, which is Larry D, but Lawrence D is convicted as the attempted murderer for who shot Johnny Brown. Yep, Dark King's right. I'm gonna read the comments after everything, so keep them coming in. Keep them coming in. So AC Romero was directed to go to the knockouts from Johnny Swinger, and so we'll find out how this story progresses later on. But AC Romero's wearing the Sherlock Holmes hat, and so yeah, very fun segment. Next we have Deanna and Kimberly going into the ring, and she discusses how she's sick of hearing about Taya being ungrateful, that Deanna's doing all these good things for her, but Taya seems ungrateful for her doing it. Like, I didn't really understand that whole promo, to be honest. Like, why would Taya feel grateful for you ruining the tag match? For you doing that to her best friend, like, it was a very, very confusing promo from Deonna Purrazzo. And then Taya comes out, and then there's a heated battle where Taya is still the master of the mic. Uh, anyone, anyone against her she can knock it out of the park. She basically says that I'm the longest reigning knockout, and I've been lacing my boots up longer than you have. So that goes on, and then she says one line about she wants to end the age of Virtuosa and begin the era of La Huera Loca. I liked how that sounded in my mind, coming out of my mouth. La Huera Loca. Huh, I might be half Mexican. No, I'm not. For the Knockouts title, Taya is still the best on the mic, regardless. If you watched that again, it was phenomenal. Deonna sounds like a cat on nails. I mean, that's her voice. So, I mean, she still is working her mic work, but Taya is still superior in that. If it was a mic battle, Taya would win. Then we consist with Bay and Rohit discuss the strategy to expose Manic because they know it's TJP. So they sit down with TJP and they discuss a plan where they want TJP to have a tag partner, tag with Manic, and versus Rohit and Chris Bay. But then TJP says, I don't know, my friend Manic doesn't really like me very much. We're on a no speakings term. And Bay is like, we know it's you, just stop. I know it's him. He has the same tattoos and everything. But so basically, Manic is the symbiotic version of TJP, where they hate each other but tolerate each other, which is very fun and interesting to see. Tennille and Rosemary have a discussion where Rosemary is deeply brooding and Tennille walks in and interrupts. Trust me, you do not interrupt a brooding person. It doesn't matter if it's a demon, if it's a Caped Crusader, if it's anyone. You don't interrupt a brooding individual. I hate when people interrupt my brooding. She basically says that once that door closes, my door is open. And so Rosemary goes, knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. And she's like, and Cable's like, who's there? Not you. We will never be knocking on your door. We will never be doing this. And you can go away now. So very fun. Very fun. The finals, the match concluded. The second match of the night was pretty strong. It was Jazz and Jordan Grace versus Nevaeh and Havoc. A lot of stuff went on in this match. Basically, the tag team specialists, Nevaeh and Havoc, were the stronger part in this match, which they eventually won the match. So now they challenge Tasha and Kiera Hogan at Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill. So that's going to be a fun match. It's on the pay-per-view. My opinion on it, though, is Nevaeh and Havoc are going to win it. I see them more as a threat with the Knockouts tag team titles than I see Kiera Hogan and Tasha holding them. Just my opinion. See, this is a lot. Oh, I'm already losing my voice. Rich Swann, Motor City Machine Guns talk with Gia Miller to discuss their plans at Hard to Kill, and they say, you know what? They walked into our company, they traded on our company, and I'm not going to take that. So they were saying, you know what? We got our asses handed last week. So I don't mind if we get our asses handed this week. So they break up with the interview. Gia Miller is left there speechless, where she sells perfectly. Then Rich Swann and MCMG walked up to security guard and said, "Are we on the list?" And he's like, "No, no, no, no. Well, here's what we think about your list," and tosses it, and he just bum rushes him and just storms out of the exit. And they both look all ready and pumped and all that. But then they open the bus and they get kicked out. They he kicks the door open in their faces and they lose the advantage because the Good Brothers come out and pound and throw and bash. And Kenny Omega at one point goes like this, like this is the real world championship. This is the real world championship. And even Don is like saying, "This is the real world champion." I didn't like that at all. I didn't think that was necessary. Um, Especially on an Impact broadcast, you don't want your own brand to feel less superior, which is going to be very sad if Kenny Omega wins that match because that makes their match seem superior. I don't see a winning option in that for Hard to Kill. But yeah, so that happened and it was violent. It was fun, exciting, but I didn't like how it got portrayed. Jordan apologizes to Jazz, and Jazz is like, "You don't owe me an apology. I was thankful for the opportunity. You reached out to me, and I appreciated it, and I reached out, and I'm thanking you for the opportunity. So, if anything, I have to thank you for giving me the opportunity." But instead of that, Jazz was like, "Okay, that's all well and good, but I fought beside you. Now I want to see what happens when I fight against you." So she laid a challenge down to Jazz that will face her at Genesis, and it was made official via the Impact Twitter account. So yeah, um, that's happening at Genesis. Jazz versus Jordan Grace, two badass females battling out on a pay-per-view. Sold. I wanted this for my thumbnail, but I couldn't find a good picture, and I don't think anyone would have noticed who they are. But remember that deal Deanna made with Father James Mitchell? Well, we see the conclusion of it. And so Deanna walks up to Father James Mitchell, and Father James Mitchell comes out of the door, and he's like, "So, did you get rid of Sue Young? Is Susie in there?" Well, she's not Susie anymore, or she's not Sue Young anymore. And she's like, so she's Susie. Not exactly. It's complicated. So out comes Susan, a third person to the name. There has been Susie, Sue Young, and now Susan in a business attire. I wonder where this is gonna go. This is fantastic. My cheeks are raised up because that's so funny. Ah, you hear one story and then Impact throws you a curveball. It's fucking nuts. Oh shit. I was laughing my ass off when she's like, "Hello, I'm Susan." I was like, "Susan? What the fuck? What's next, Susanna?" I'm very intrigued on where this goes, though. It's going to be very fun and very exciting to see. Probably one of the main things of the night that made me laugh. It was great. All right. Matthew Palmer versus Moose in a 3 minute challenge. Now, this was a very difficult thing to watch. Moose was overpowering Matthew Palmer for the good 15 minutes end of the 3 minute mark. And then out of nowhere, Willie Mack comes to confront Moose to egg him on for their match at Genesis, but he never enters the ring. Moose is left there badgering at Willie Mack, and he's unaware of the time clocking down. So after 15 seconds, it goes 14, 13, 12. They're still badgering on 11, 10, 9, so on and so forth. At the end, Matthew Palmer won. He outlasted Moose, courtesy of Willie Mack, but he outlasted Moose. Fun stuff, fun stuff. See, with Impact, you don't get fully physical. You get fun, entertaining stuff that actually is fun. Which is that? It's fun. It's a 3-minute challenge of a man getting beat senseless, and then out comes the victor. Fun. Okay. This one was very interesting. An Ethan Page segment where he's on a therapy couch. You know those therapy couches that are in every therapist office where you just lie down and just speak your mind, laying on your head, and then and he's like thinking, and then the Karate Man appears. Like, you want to know my thoughts, Ethan Page? I think you're a total bitch. Because he's here whining and complaining how he thinks his life is falling apart. And then the Karate Man just tells it as it is. You're acting like a bitch. You need to stop. So Ethan jumps up and like, what'd you tell me? What'd you call me? It's like, I called you a bitch. What you going to do about it? It's like, I'll tell you what I'm going to do about it. How about a match at Hard to Kill? So it is official. Ethan Page versus the Karate Man at Hard to Kill. Great stuff. I'm actually excited for that match. It's going to be probably a cinematic match, to be honest, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. I love cinematic matches, and you can put any promotion up there on the best cinematic matches and everything else, but nothing comes close to what Impact does with them. They revolutionized them. They may have taken them from Lucha Underground, but who's still around? Impact. So they are now taking full reins of the cinematic matches. So now WWE is doing them. AEW is doing them. But Impact revolutionized them, just like ECW revolutionized violence wrestling. Impact has cinematic matches. That match they had at Bound for Glory with the unsanctioned match, fun match. That was a great match. If you can call it a match, it was a fight. It was an absolute fight with Moose and EC3. Oh, EC3. I miss him. So Ethan Page versus the Karate Man at Hard to Kill. See, this is another thing. Impact allows them to take full creative on their character. If they see a character that might work, they don't snub a no at it. Ethan Page created this Karate Man character for the Indies, and Impact Wrestling thought, you know what? We can work with this. Can we use your character in a storyline? So yeah, Ethan Page was like, yeah, you can use it, but I have control of it. So he's using this, and you got 2 Ethan Pages on one screen. I don't know how they did that. That's some freaky cinematic voodoo. I don't understand how they did that. They did the same thing with Su Yung, where Susie and Su Yung were simultaneously on the same screen. Ethan Page and the Karate Man were simultaneously on the same screen. It's absolutely mind-boggling how they did that. So that's after that match. So the final match of the night, we're almost done, guys, and then I read the comments. The final match of the night was Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan. Now, this match started off violently. It didn't even end with a match. It wasn't even an actual match when I get down to it. Violence was thrown around. There was chairs. There was a Singapore cane. There was a slugger's bat. They were mostly fighting over that for the full, I want to say, a good 5 minutes outside the ring. It was long enough to get a commercial break and then have them in the ring. And then Brandon Toll rings the bell, but their violence didn't stop. So Brandon Toll threw out the rule book. He said, you know what? I'm done. You guys can settle this. And so he left, and they're still fighting back and forth, eye gouging, pulling the hair, hitting with weapons, and then finally Sami Callihan gets the advantage. Eddie Edwards gets the advantage, and he has the Callahan Slugger on his back. And Sami Callihan backs up like, whoa, whoa, I give. And then he does his little phone glitch thing where he pulls out his phone and clicks a button, and it showed Alicia being in some sort of trap, in some sort of cage. It had her behind a cage that was locked and wrapped in barbed wire. So what does Eddie do? He bunts Eddie in the Sami Callihan in the eye, and then leads with the advantage, going straight to his wife, which he finds in a cage. And then lo and behold, it's a trap. Shamrock comes out of nowhere and beats the hell out of Eddie Edwards, trying to unlock the cage to free his wife. Then Callahan comes in with the bat and then bludgeons him in the chest with it, or ribs, I want to say. And he has lost the advantage. He's now being beaten since by Shamrock, mocked and ridiculed by Eddie. I keep saying Eddie. Sami Callihan, and then it ended with Eddie's arm being wrapped in barbed wire around the fence with it around his neck. And then with the finishing blow, Callihan bunts him in the eye with the bat, as you saw in my thumbnail. So yeah, crazy fucking night tonight, man. It was fucking nuts. I loved every second of it. So we got 3 matches announced at Hard to Kill, and then we got a Genesis match announced. And the third final match I didn't discuss is a barbed wire massacre match on pay-per-view, which means it can be as bloody and gruesome as they want. No network's gonna pull it. They're gonna go all out. It's going to be bloody fucking fantastic. I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited. Now to read the comments, which I kind of like doing. Hi, Cody. Hey, Jared. What up, dude? What up, Dark King? Dark King Gaming. Impact is truly hard to kill. And yeah, I remember the whole Hulk Hogan thing. Yep. The Hulk Hogan thing. He spent countless of dollars. I want to say dollars. I want to say hundreds. He spent countless of $100 just throwing it at different things, lighting, talent, artist. Just kept on tossing when Impact wasn't earning what they were giving away. Which I don't know if Tony Khan is earning what he's giving back, but he's doing the same thing Hogan is doing, putting money out there to boost his promotion. Selling big money contracts to independent wrestlers. Bringing in Sting. Bringing in Snoop Dogg. Bringing in Mike Tyson. Buying theme songs for their wrestlers. That's $1 million cash money. I doubt Snoop Dogg is a very inexpensive booking. I'm sure he's up there in the 500s or maybe even the thousands. I know Mike Tyson is almost $1 million. So yeah, bookings for those celebrity tier talents or people are not cheap. So they got to be earning that money back eventually. Jared, Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan Barbed Wire Massacre 4 match at Hard to Kill. Yep. Dark King Gaming, that sounds like a good match. I'm guessing that was the one with Kira Hogan, Tasha Steelz, and Nevaeh and Havoc. That does sound like a good match. Jared, Susan. Yep. We now have Susan, a third entity. Ethan Page versus the Karate Man. Yep, that's going to be fun. Dark King, I remember the Su Yung and Susie effect. That was absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah, I was absolutely mind-blown from it. I don't know how they did it. people say they did two separate screens, but I saw no screen frame. I saw no fracture in the screen. There was Susie on the stage, and there was Su Yung right next to her. Dual copies. And even when Su Yung at the end, Susie threw her hair back and she was Susie again, while Su Yung was bloody right next to her. She wasn't covered in blood, she was bloody fucking right next to her. Absolutely insane. I think Su Yung will return at Hard to Kill, which will leave Taya winning the championship and her staying on Impact Wrestling, because I don't see her going anywhere, because she has not said she's closing down her merch site, so WWE is not an option. She would have closed it down by now, or announced a closing sale, which she hasn't. Ethan Page has. Or she can go to AEW, which I don't think AEW has even set eyes on her. I've only seen them set interest in their male talents. I haven't heard any news on AEW scouting their women's division, which they should be, but they don't. Because Impact books the women's wrestling better than AEW does. And that's not an insult, that's a fact. Su Yung might return to Impact Hard to Kill. Yep. I recommend it. Either that or Genesis, one of the two, but she's coming back. Or the Susie character is going to go all out and be domestic against Deanna. She could be the worst version of both of them. Su Yung was the violent one. Susie was the nice one. Susan could be the freaking dominant one. Like, you know how the business women are with business suits, and like they're like hard asses. Like they are strict rule followers. So she can go, I don't know, all professionalism on Deanna Purrazzo. But it's going to be very interesting how that story plays out. Oh, fun stuff, fun stuff. 32 minutes, shorter than my last video last time. Anything else, guys? What are your thoughts on the matches coming up? Matches, what are your thoughts on the Hard to Kill match that was announced, the Old School Rules match? Or what is your thoughts on the Super X Cup, which is going to be super fun? At least you call it the Super Fun Cup. Casey Navarro, Trey Lamar, and Blake Christian are going to blow people's minds. Eddie Edwards needs a tag team partner to take on Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan. I agree. He's getting a little one-sided. Like Alicia has her bonuses, like she can go and she can be violent, just as violent as Eddie Edwards. But she's a tiny little thing that has a lot of heart and a lot of violence, but she's easily allowed to be overpowered by guys like Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan. So Eddie Edwards needs a tag team partner, or at least someone fighting by his side. So very exciting to see where this goes. Well, I will be doing a video on Thursday. It will be another live video from my friend Hakeem Fullerton. He gave me another Genesis moment thing to do, and I'm very excited to do it. Then on Friday, I will be doing a Genesis rundown video. My videos, my rundown videos, no longer are on this channel for Impact Wrestling shows. Pay-per-views are still going to be mine. Where you can find my rundown videos are on the TNA IW channel. Talking nonsense about Impact Wrestling. All you got to do is type "talking nonsense" in the search bar, and it pops up. They are a group of people that are really fleshing themselves out as creative content creators. They boost my video with their little gimmicks and their stuff that makes it look professional. Things I can't do, even if I wanted to, because that shit confuses me. But you can find that video, what I do every week, on their channel. And then I will be doing a Genesis rundown on Friday, probably early in the morning. And then I'll probably be doing a Genesis review. I don't know. Reviews are a lot of work, and sometimes they're not very thorough, like tonight was. I had a lot of gaps. I listed everything that happened, but I didn't list everything in explicit detail, which I'm sorry. There might have been a few things I missed. Crazy Steve or Casey Navarro or Ace Austin will win Super X Cup. Crazy Steve. That's a good choice. Do you see him beating Trey Lamar though? My forehead was showing. So yeah, it's Crazy Steve versus Trey Lamar. And see, that's how it's gonna go down. Either way, Blake Christian and Casey Navarro, we get 2 matches out of them. Maybe even 3 if they advance. Okay, we get 3 actually from them. Wow. No, wait, maybe. If they advance, then we get 3. But if they don't, Crazy Steve will beat Trey Lamar. Really? I don't know. I only have seen a few things about Trey Lamar, and I know he's fucking nuts. He did something with Warrior Wrestling that was absolutely insane. He did a match with the Rascals. Very fun talent. But Crazy Steve, he's crazy and strong and athletic. That's going to be a very good match because it can go either way. You're probably right. Crazy Steve might beat Trey Lamar. It's going to be very interesting to see what goes down. And then you have that I Quit match that night. Oh, I'm so excited for that I Quit match. I love violence. It makes my life feel less crazy in a way. Like, I get excited when violent matches are announced because I love violence. I love video games that have violence in it. I like people being violent. And it's all an act. I get that. I know. But it's fun, entertaining, and it's just like watching a movie, which I also enjoy. Um, Waiting for some more questions. Waiting for more questions or thoughts or chats or something. Or can I get off? The giant bag of thumbtacks, whatever happened to him? Him? Wait, what did I miss? The thumbtacks used to be a person? The giant bag of thumbtacks are under the ring. They're right where they always been. Casey Navarro will beat Blake Christian. That's a fair one. I think Casey Navarro will beat Blake Christian as well. Casey is probably going to win the Super X Cup. But they may have Blake Christian win it because he didn't win the Super J Cup. Toss it a little at NJPW. Like, you know what? We saw him. We like him. I was trying to say something to Monster Abyss, but my phone is not exactly working like it should. Ah, okay. Yeah, Abyss went to the Undead Realm, or so we're aware of. And his brother went to WWE. So yeah, Joseph Parks is his brother, and he went to WWE. Abyss is somewhere in the Undead Realm in Impact. As we keep seeing him pop up. We saw him pop up at Wrestle House. We saw him pop up with James Mitchell dying. Yeah, Monster Abyss went to the Undead Realm. Didn't you see him in the fiery pits of hell in Wrestle House? Or the image that he did in when Father James Mitchell was killed? It showed Abyss again. Like, Abyss is still an Impact. Only his brother left the WWE. Unless they have used Abyss in WWE, Abyss is still an Impact. Yeah. That's the story being told. Yeah. Abyss is in the Undead Realm. That's why when Tommy Dreamer said Joseph Park Esquire, he's dead to us. Because he was saying Joseph Park is in WWE. Abyss didn't sign the contract. Joseph Park did. Speaking of Joseph Park, though, what was his thing with John Morrison? I know I saw him a bit doing like some being in the announcer for John Morrison, but then after a while, John Morrison and Joseph Park split ways. What happened? I don't watch WWE, so I saw Joseph Park with Johnny Impact. Johnny Impact sounds a lot better. Johnny Impact, and then I didn't see Joseph Park with Johnny Impact. Did the idea that they had stop? Maybe it's going on because then Miz came into play? I don't know. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't John Morrison, it was AJ Styles. Was it? Because Abyss is different than Joseph Parks. They're two different characters. They may be the same person playing them, but they're two different characters. That's like Courtney Rush wrestling in Rise while she's on Impact. There's two different characters. You sign the contract as the character you're signed. So Joseph Park signed as Joseph Park. The Monster Abyss stayed with Impact. This is the great thing about creating characters. Some characters work for another promotion, some don't. So their entities can stay in the promotion that they stayed in versus the one that they were going to. It's called a loophole. And from every lawyer I've talked to, every contract has a loophole. Just like, fun idea, if wrestlers were to hop ship and go to Impact while wearing a mask, there's no way telling that that's them. So picture, I don't know, Sami Zayn having enough of WWE's bullshit. So he hops over to Impact while wearing a mask and going under the name El Generico again. Sami Zayn is signed to WWE. El Generico is not. But of course, WWE knows of El Generico, so I hope he called something different. That's why the mask is so fun, because you can wear a mask and be a different character. Always be a surprise. All right. That's it for this video, guys. Sorry all that contract mumbo jumbo. But yeah, look forward to my video on Thursday, and I will be doing that then. Waiting, 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 waiting. And laters, everyone.